Lock the doors. There are crazies about. Bunch of wild pot smokers, I think, in my building now. Alright. Make use of contrasts. Careful exploitation of people who are dull or unattractive may enhance your desirability by comparison. At a social affair, for instance, make sure that your target has to chat with the most boring person available. Come to the rescue, and your target will be delighted to see you. In The Seducer's Diary by Soren Kierkegaard, Johannes has designs on the innocent young Cordelia. Knowing that his friend Edward is hopelessly shy and dull, he encourages this man to court her. A few weeks of Edward's attention will make her eyes wander in search of someone else, anyone else, and Johannes will make sure that they settle on him. Johannes has chosen to strategize and maneuver, but almost any social environment will contain contrasts you can make use of almost naturally. That's hilarious. Daily law. Make use of contrasts. Either develop and display those attractive attributes, humor, vivacity, and so on, that are the scarcest in your own social group, or choose a group in which your natural qualities are rare and will shine. That's hilarious. How funny. Make use of contrasts. This is some very calculated, conniving kind of stuff. Imagine. That's funny. So you're into someone and you want to make yourself shine, so you push a very boring friend on them. People are funny. I need caffeine. I had all kinds of dreams. One of them was like, it was weird. It was like a line, almost like to a song that I kept trying to refine over and over again in my head. And it made sense. I don't remember what the heck it was now. It's very strange. Hmm. Alright, let's go have a day. Alright, where's my situation? Open the gate. Yeah, as I'm leaving, there's already somebody outside in the courtyard area, hacking away because he can't handle the smoke. Bunch of damn kids. First of all, at least step outside of the building so you don't have to subject everybody to your habits. And second, handle your smoke so you're not coughing like a retard and waking everybody up at 3 in the morning. Or whatever time it is. It's not even 3 yet. I only get to work about 3. No, 3:30. I leave at about 3, so yeah, it's around 3. This is what happens when you're like an apartment manager and you're just desperate to fill spots because you have vacant units. Just start letting anybody in. Either that or this whole area is going downhill. I don't know. What do I know? Put it this way. Still trying to remember what the heck that line was that was in my dream. It was a good one too, because I remember saying it over and over again and like removing words to make it as concise but as meaningfully potent as I could with the least amount of words. And I'd gotten it down to like what seemed like 6 words. I forget what the heck it was. I don't even remember what the topic was. Damn it. I wish you could record your dreams. I'm sure Neuralink will do that. A little bit. Use contrast. Sometimes you don't want to stand out though, I think. Or to be honest, I don't think this is a good time to be standing out. That feels wrong. Like you want to blend in and not draw too much attention right now. For some reason that feels more like the wisest course of action. Hopefully this is a nice, uneventful ride. And this guy's hauling ass. Hey, already. Stay out of your way. That looked good. The guy replaced his blinkers. Normally they're like an amber color, but he put white lenses on his car, so when he hit his blinker, it was a nice bright white. That looked good. I don't know if the car. I don't think that's legal. I don't think they're making cars like that, so that had to have been an aftermarket purchase. They're letting all kinds of things go when it comes to cars now. They used to give tickets for like tint being too dark. They don't do that anymore. And I even saw a car in a parking lot with a window of the windshield was completely tinted. I don't think that's not legal, but that person did it. I mean, maybe if they got pulled over, they'd get a ticket, but maybe not. I don't know. You never hear of anybody getting. Well, it's not like I talk to a lot of people, but maybe that's not a thing anymore. What do I know? What does this say? 405 in Sepulveda. I don't go that far, so never mind. It has nothing to do with me. I heard a great podcast with Andrew Huberman and Cesar Millan. That guy's got it down. Anybody's willing to listen. It just applies to everything and everyone. I love listening to it. It's exactly what I learned when I went up there to train under him. And it just applies to every situation for people, and it's for people. I think that's why I like it so much, because it applies to you, and then it trickles down to your dog when it comes to your energy and how you handle yourself, and how that applies to your dog. It's just great information. It's all about self-development. Oh man. It's gonna be a quiet video. Have more of my coffee. Where is it? Here it is. Yeah, I wish I had more to talk about. My mind is completely blank right now. It's kind of a weird weekend, to be honest. I had Saturday off, and normally it's like nice to have that day off to rest but and relax. But it was like I felt completely drained. My mind was like, I don't know, it was weird. Even my woman felt the same way, like just foggy in the brain, just tired. So most of that day, I just laid. I felt fine yesterday. People are going ham on the fact that Lindsey Graham died. So the memes are flowing quite steadily. And then there's conspiracies saying that they killed him. Yeah, because I guess he got sick real quick, all out of nowhere, and passed. I mean, which can happen. I mean, if you're older, that can just happen, I guess. But I don't know. But he was a big supporter of everything going on over there with Israel. Not that it matters. There's a million other people just like him waiting to replace him. So it's not like it's going to make any kind of impact. But the memes are hilarious. Something about what I read, how that applies. Actually, to be honest, I guess maybe I inadvertently did that by growing my hair out. Because that is a distinct contrast to most men out there who just have, the regular haircut. Man, there's a lot of cars parked on the side of the freeway this morning. A lot of trucks and a lot of cars pulled over for who knows what reason. I don't know why, obviously. See, that's a contrast. It stands out. But yeah, especially when I let my hair down, which I don't do often. Which reminds me, I have to wash it today. Anybody out there who's thinking of growing your hair out, pain in the ass to have to wash every day. It's maybe like every 2 or 3 days I wash my hair. It's my habit. Yep, you can go around because it's about as fast as I'm going to go. Thank you. I guess this whole video is going to be a lesson in contrast. Small moments of verbal communication contrasted with long periods of silence. There's your contrast. That'll be the title. The contrast. Huh. That was weird. There was a car coming up on my left side. You know, it just looked like he was going a little faster than I was. So it looked like he was going to pass me. And as soon as we hit this incline, he just fell way back for I don't know what reason. That was kind of odd. Since I'm going 61, let's see. Yeah, it's about right. Why does it look like smoke? What's going on? Is there a construction site here? Is this a fire? What is happening? Alright, I guess that's part of the construction situation. It's kind of weird though. There's nothing being done right there. I don't know why that's happening. But it's like where their supplies for the construction that they're doing just kind of just like sitting, but there's nothing happening right there. There's a huge, it looked like a fire. So I don't know what that was about. As long as I don't have to deal with it, I'm happy. Alright, almost there. That's funny. There's the stretch of this part of the freeway, for whatever reason, they like named it after a sheriff, like a memorial, whatever. And it's like some crazy, sounds like some wild Indian name. Hug up something, crazy last name. But they put it like a middle name in parentheses that said Jake. As I read it, I'm like, why Jake? There's nothing in that name that sounds like Jake. Where'd that come from? Hey, this is my name. Just call me Jake. It's kind of funny. Yeah, as I'm listening to that podcast with Caesar, he mentioned how he had bought 43 acres. That's right out here, off of this exit right here, Magic Mountain Highway. It's actually right behind Magic Mountain. That's one of the jobs I worked on. That's a big piece of property. I didn't realize it was 43 acres. But I mean, I was on it. I remember being there. It is huge, but I didn't know how big it is acreage-wise. But I heard him say that on the podcast. A lot of land. It's really nice too, what he did with it. I remember when I worked on there, it was just a bunch of dirt with all these connecting roads to these little flat pads that we were leveling out. That's still one of the more interesting experiences I've had in my life. Being able to go back there to see what I did, what I helped do, and then realizing it was for him. And then even not realizing that I saw him, but he didn't get out of his car. I'm sitting in my truck looking at a Range Rover, and the other truckers were like, yeah, that's the property owner. That's all they said. They were like, he just wants to come out and see, what the progress that we're making. I was like, oh, that's cool. But he never, whoever it was, I remember thinking at the time, he never got out of his car. And then when I went back to train with him, I was like, oh, holy shit, that was him. How cool. I didn't even know that I was going to meet him. So wild. And it's years and years later. Probably, let's see, I was in trucking. After I quit that, I think I was at the job after, without naming it, for about maybe 4 more years, 5 more years. Probably like maybe 6, 7 years later, something like that, if I had to guess, is when I went back to Blue Cloud Road. It's pretty cool. That was the only job that I actually liked. I didn't have to go anywhere or do anything. That job was on site. I didn't have to drive on the road. We were just moving dirt from here to there. And that's stupid. Not that it was a stupid job, but that job was the only reason I got into trucking, because that job lasted for a long time, like months. I was on that job. And that was the main reason my father bought a second truck. So that was probably like the worst decision I ever made, was that. Mainly because I had the experience of that full circle experience had I not made that decision. So it was like a love-hate thing. Oh, why does everybody want to take my spots? Oh no, my spot isn't blocked. I could park there. Haha. I wonder why they coned up those two. That's weird. I mean, cone up mine. That's where I'm parking. And scene. Okay, I am here. I'm alive. But yeah, it's one of those things in my life where it's like, as much as I hated what happened, I absolutely love what happened. There's a contrast. Tie that up with a nice little bow. Okay, have a great day.